Welcome to football's Play to Win, the fastest 45 minutes on TV.
Today's show is being brought to you by This Is It Barbecue, Haviland Express Lube, and Nellie Ford Sandy Springs. Today's hometown team report is brought to you by Mellow Mushroom Pizza Bakers, a higher order of pizza for your tailgating events.
All right, welcome to the show with Jeffrey and Bob and Nikki, and Chuck, and yours truly. And as usual, as we often do, we're going to start talking about the University of Georgia Bulldogs and the Bulldogs moving up in the polls.
Well, the Dogs have done a good job taking advantage of the teams that they've played, but also a lot of teams have lost. There have been some big upsets. I think the Dogs are in good position right now, but I think it's all about who gets in that last four, but the Dogs have done a great job.
Do you call it a good position when you're 7-0 and staring right at that college football playoff? Because I'd say that's a pretty good position.
Great position.
Yeah.
You still got to get through the SEC championship.
It pains him to say that.
They beat Florida. Ohio State, I think, is going to beat Penn State. They should go to number 2.
All right, and let's flip over and talk about Georgia Tech. Some tough losses for Georgia Tech.
Ooh, very tough, and they had teams.
Stronger word for tough.
They had teams on the brink of failure. So it was just one of those things. Georgia Tech. Oh, I know it's tough for those guys, but that offense last week got a little slow in the second half, and I think they have some areas they can improve on. Georgia Tech will be back.
Tech is 2 plays away from being 5-0. How frustrating is that? And I know that Paul Johnson is frustrated. He went off on the media the other day. It doesn't matter what I say. I'm not going to say anything right. You guys are going to ask me one thing. I'm going to tell you what's wrong, and then you're going to tell me I'm wrong. So he is frustrated visibly, and it's okay, because wouldn't we all be frustrated if we were that close? Oh my God, those losses
It's a tough
are
loss.
It's
humiliating.
tough. It's tough being media talking to coaches when the coaches are upset.
Oh yeah.
I mean, at least they beat. Or
You got to
at
ask
least
them
they
the tough questions.
I know. At least they got close enough to beat a number 11 team. I mean, that's got to be better than being on
Close
the
is
field
only good
with
in
someone.
horseshoes.
Like
Close
what?
is close.
Close
is
counts and horseshoes
Right.
and social dancing. I always like the social dancing part. All right, the Falcons. How good are they?
Oh, not good. How bad? I say the Falcons
You say
stink.
bad?
I say they
All right,
stink.
tell me why.
I
Tell me
say they
why.
stink, but they stink only against the AFC East right now.
Well, they sit on leads. I mean, they get a lead. I mean, you're not supposed to blow a 17-0 lead to Miami. I mean, you're not even supposed to give up 17 points to Miami. So
That's AFC East, though. That's the thing.
Anything can happen in the AFC East. I mean, they're still a threat.
Well, what's their problem? When they blow leads, mean they don't control the ball.
They're small and fast, which is great. It makes them unique. But as the game goes on, the strength and the size of these other players eventually gets to them.
But there are a couple other things, Nikki. For me, they're not controlling the run. Anytime you don't control the run, what's going to happen, they're going to slow the game down the other teams. And that limits the offense. So the reason why the Falcons' offense hasn't been as successful is because they don't have as many plays. So the defense has to do their job. They got to find some closers out there, guys that can make plays.
Yeah, and that defense, like we say, the momentum changes from defense. You haven't seen them happening. Third quarters, team has come out. Buffalo and Miami have pushed that ball down the field in the third quarter, running the ball against that Falcons defense, wearing them out in long drives.
they're adjusting. Falcons have struggled in the second half all year.
The other team's adjusting.
Right.
And the depth on the defense, I think, has a lot to do with it, particularly as you talk about in the second half.
You know, but they got good up-front guys, but it's one of those things. When your up-front guys are big heavies and they start getting tired, start getting, run on a little bit, that rotation gets a little thin.
All right, we'll be back in just a moment. We continue with football's Play to Win.
You never know when the moment will strike. And when it does, you want to be ready. Mellow Mushroom's craft pizza, beer, and cocktails can help you enjoy a more satisfying eating experience. Mellow Mushroom is safe for daily use. If you find yourself sitting in a Mellow Mushroom for more than 4 hours, you may want to go home and come back another day. Mellow Mushroom is not for everyone. Just kidding, it is. Ask your doctor about Mellow Mushroom. He may want to come with you.
The 2017 Nissan Rogue, with available automatic emergency braking that can help stop for you. And motion-activated liftgate. You still got some tricks left in you. Take on today the Nissan Rogue family. Lease today, starting at just $159 per month, or save up to $10,760 on select models.
This is it. Hey, baby. This is it. I did not feel like cooking, and you know how much I love their food. guess what? The It's the Rib Tips man, he wrote a book. And it's a good one. Just as good as his food.
For more than 33 years, This Is It Barbecue and Seafood has served delicious meals cooked with love and history. Visit a location today.
Today's NFL Report is brought to you by Nellie Ford Sandy Springs. The car you want, the name you trust. It has to be Nellie Ford Sandy Springs.
All right, time for the Nellie Ford NFL Report, and let's start talking about the Saints and the Packers. And the big story, of course, for the Packers is the loss of Aaron Rodgers.
Mega. That's the way to best describe
Collarbone.
it. No question about it. It's a mega, huge injury when you're looking at the Green Bay Packers. Now you got Brett Hundley stepping in there as the quarterback. The bottom line is you just lost arguably the number one quarterback in the league. Now, New Orleans, it's going to make them look a lot better when they don't have Aaron Rodgers to go against and they got Brett Hundley. I just think it gives New Orleans a huge psychological advantage when it comes to the defense going against Brett Hundley, not Aaron Rodgers. You know,
Hundley's been 3 seasons he's been training for this, right? He's been around for a while. This is his first career start. The last time the Packers were without Aaron Rodgers long term was in 2013. They went for 5 straight losses before they finally got it together.
Green Bay's the closest thing to a one-man team. They're not going to win another game this year. And all of a sudden, New Orleans has a defense. 3 defensive touchdowns last week, and they shut out Miami the week before. So.
They'll get another win. They can get at least one win. I like that, but they can get at least one.
Who are they going to beat?
They'll beat somebody.
It's just Jeffrey being a
It's the
gangster.
nature of the NFL. All right, let's talk Bucks and Bills.
Where did this gangster come from?
We got another shoulder
Yeah.
with Jameis Winston. He's going to be a game-time decision. So, you know, the Bucks, they just got Doug Martin back from a suspension. So he's running the ball. He had 73 yards last week. He's going to get back in rhythm. He wants to go full tilt this week. And Tampa Bay, they're not looking too hot. I think they're going to move themselves to the bottom of that NFC South and stay there.
All right, the Panthers and the Bears, Nikki.
Attention, Carolina Panthers fans. Do not sleep on this Bears game. The Bears have the 6th-ranked defense in the NFL. That's higher than the Eagles that just mopped the floor with Carolina, and it's higher than the Bills that held Carolina to no touchdowns. So all over social media, everyone's thinking that they're a shoe-in.
Right.
I beg to differ. I don't think this
John
is
Fox is an excellent coach. Bears give him time, he'll turn them into a winner. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Bear down, Chicago Bears, as we said when I was a kid. Okay, Redskins, Eagles. Eagles have been dominant.
It might
I
be
like
the best bird in the NFC right now.
The best bird.
And that Carson Wentz, that quarterback, and then that defense have been playing, and they got a solid offensive line. And who's the surprise player? LeGarrette Blount at running back. So Philly is a team to beat in the NFC.
They ain't pretty, but they're very good.
Yeah, Philly brings a lot of A-game to it. And I'm going to tell you this, it starts with the best offseason pickup in the game. It was Timmy Jernigan that they got in the trade from the Baltimore Ravens. That defense is ferocious. I mean, they fly around the ball. I think this is a Philadelphia team. It's something to be reckoned with. Now, check this out. If Philadelphia gets home field advantage up in Philly for the playoffs, watch out. They're going to have, I believe, they're steamroll. And I'm telling you right now, if they get that, they're going to go to the Super Bowl. If all the games are in Philly, all the way leading up, if they get home field advantage, I believe this Philadelphia team goes to the Super Bowl.
You said they fly around the ball.
It's crazy right
He's
now.
crazy. He's crazy.
Who looks crazier?
He's local, man.
Is it me?
I'm going with my man Chuck. Watch the Phillies.
If not,
Watch the Eagles.
Look
Or
out
the
for Philly.
Watch either one.
I agree.
Jeffrey, it's time for your picks.
I like New Orleans giving 4.5 at Green Bay. I just don't see much out of Green Bay. I'm liking the Bears. Bears got, you may think I'm crazy. They got an outside chance to win that division. Take the 3 with Chicago at home.
Okay, the Bears. What is it about the Bears that's got them a shot to go?
They're scrappy. They got a new young quarterback. They got a good defense.
And a good solid defense, particularly against the run. All right, we'll be back in just a moment as we continue with football. Play to win.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. Always enough. I'm talking tough.
Hurry in to Nellie Ford and get 0% APR for 72 months on 2016 F-150 XLT, plus over $4,000 in bonus cash.
Hey y'all, we're Low Cash and we love Nellie Ford and NallieFord.com.
It has to be Nellie Ford Sandy Springs. As an athlete, you know winning doesn't come easy. When you get injured, it's no different. It's hard work coming back, but you accept the challenge. At GMC Sports Medicine, we've built one of the top programs in the nation with the most sports medicine fellowship-trained doctors and the largest team of certified athletic trainers in Georgia, managing 42,000 athletes. Getting you back to peak performance is our challenge, and it's game on.
We are the blood, sweat, and tears of fierce ambition. We are fueled by the impossible, an inner drive that can't be contained. We are the Georgia Bulldogs. So shout, "Go Dogs," and let the game begin. Here's to building champions. Now get $10,800 in total savings on the 2017 F-150. See your local Ford dealer today.
Today's NFL Fantasy Report is being brought to you by Haviland Express Lube, driven to perform, so our customers and their vehicles can too.
Time to talk some fantasy football right now with Adam Brown, and of course a guy who's not a fantasy but a real player, Chuck Smith, with us. What do you got today?
All right, so let's start off with the biggest injury that happened in the NFL last week, and that was Aaron Rodgers. My under-the-radar players for this week, Brett Hundley is one of them. The reason for that is he still has that surrounding cast around him, Chuck. Bob, the guy has all the weapons he needs.
Right. Well, he might have weapons, but I don't know if he's going to know how to shoot them. I don't think Brett Hundley has a real opportunity to be successful. I think really what happens is, I think you give too much credit to what happens in Green Bay as far as the offense is concerned. I think that's all Aaron Rodgers. I think Brett Hundley's going to struggle.
Okay, well, I think Brett Hundley's going to have between 17 and 20 fantasy points this week, but Tyrod Taylor is another under-the-radar guy playing against a Tennessee team, our Tampa Bay team this week, that gives up massive fantasy points to quarterbacks. I like him a lot this week. Now, your old Tennessee guy, Alvin Kamara. Okay, let's talk about Alvin Kamara.
He can run the ball, he can catch the ball, he can block, he can do everything. He's quick. And I just think he's a mismatch for any defense, particularly the linebacker.
You know that Alvin Kamara and Mark Ingram this week have a great matchup because Green Bay has given up 20 fantasy points or more the last couple weeks to running backs. So I like the matchup this week that they have. Derrick Henry had a big 100-yard game last week, splitting carries with DeMarco Murray. I like him as well. So let's look at the wide receivers now.
Yeah.
We got Taylor Gabriel and Eric Decker. Taylor Gabriel, some news out. We're playing against a bad New England pass defense. I like him this week to score some points. And Eric Decker with Mariota in the pocket.
Well, I like in New England, I like more Julio Jones. I think the Falcons this week, after what happened last week, they're going to force the ball to Julio Jones. I think Julio has a chance to have a big day. So might slow down a little bit for Taylor Gabriel.
I like Eric Decker this week also, because Mariota has to stay in the pocket. When Mariota stays in the pocket, he has to get the ball out to his receivers quick. Eric Decker's that guy with sure hands. Now, Evan Ingram, Manning finally found him. All your receivers are depleted. I like him this week a lot against the Seattle Seahawks. And I like Zach Miller a lot this week against Carolina. Now, let's get to the defenses. We have Minnesota and New Orleans. Both teams have scored massive double-digit fantasy points the past 2 weeks. Talk to me about the defenses.
Well, Minnesota's vicious. You see what happened to Aaron Rodgers. So, I'm just telling you, they're vicious. On the other end of the spectrum, when you look at New Orleans, they're young, they're really thirsty, they're aggressive.
Yeah.
I think, you're going to see a big game from both of those defenses.
Yeah, they're changing the culture there. Right. Good luck, everyone, this week, and we'll see you next week.
Great job on fantasy football. Thanks for joining us. Chuck Smith in here with Adam Brown. We'll be back in just a moment with more on Football's Play to Win.
Who do you trust to change your oil? I'm consumer investigator Dale Cardwell. This is really my car, and Haviland Express Lube is who I truly trust. They're professional, priced to beat the competition, and really, really fast.
Hey football fans, don't take chances by driving with worn-out wiper blades. Pull into Haviland Express Lube Monday through Thursday, mention Football's Play to Win, and get a free pair of wiper blades with the purchase of an oil change.
To see our real research and find the location nearest you, visit trustdale.com/Haviland.
At Longhorn, step into wood, stone, steak. Don't prepare a meal for yourself. Prepare yourself for a meal. Feast on one of Longhorn's steakhouse cuts. 12-ounce New York strip, center-cut Flo's filet. For a limited time, 14-ounce Delmonico. The feeling, the flavor, the place. Longhorn Steakhouse. You can't fake steak.
Today on Football's Play to Win, we'll discuss Georgia's rise in the polls, preview and analyze Tech's tough losses, and look at the Falcons' Super Bowl rematch with the Patriots. The fastest 45 minutes in TV. Welcome to Football's Play to Win.
Today's show is being brought to you by Nissan, the Orlando Law Firm, and Longhorn Steakhouse. Welcome to Football's Play to Win with Falcons All-Pro defensive end Chuck Smith, Falcons All-Pro offensive tackle Bob Whitfield, Fantasy Football League Master Adam Brown, Game Analysis with Nikki Williams, Play to Win expert Jeffrey the Ed Schechter, Medical and Injury Update with Dr. Andrew Lalagi, and your host, Atlanta sports legend Bob Neal. Today's University of Georgia Report is being brought to you by This Is It Barbecue and Seafood, home of Atlanta's original rib tips.
We're working on, our team. We got to get us better. We got a lot we can get better at, and that's the focus right now. I'm not having turned my focus to Florida just yet.
All right, Kirby Smart had $1 for every time a coach said, "Going to work on our team."
Yeah, Bob, we're working on our team.
Well, that's what you do. I get it. That's the truth. Today's Dog Report is brought to you by This Is It Barbecue, which makes me hungry even at 9 o'clock on Saturday mornings. Let's talk about University of Georgia and their schedule the rest of the way. Georgia's got some games that could be challenging to them.
Well, the garbage floor is over. So now they got upper mediocre teams coming up, Florida, Kentucky, and South Carolina. So the schedule's in their favor, and I see them going to number 2.
Well, I think, Bob, what they've done really well is they've taken care of their business. They beat the teams down that they're supposed to beat down. Mm-hmm. Now it's going to be a tougher second half of the schedule. You're going to see a little bit more how good this Georgia team is, but you can't blame them for the schedule. But they did exactly what you should do to average teams, and that's smash them.
Right.
All right, now we're also starting to find out about Kirby Smart. Brings a lot of Nick Saban with him.
Well, he does, and there's worse things to bring around with you, right? I mean, Everybody wants to bring a little Nick Saban with them, unless you're the media. Nick Saban torching the media the other day, saying that they're like rat poison, and Kirby agreeing with him. Kirby Smart thinks that that's a really good way to put. He's trying to keep his players focused, not reading the headlines, keeping their horse blinders on. And then you got Nick Saban on the other end praising Kirby and saying how proud he is of coming out of the Alabama program with him, but being his own man. So I think these two have a really nice bromance going on right now.
Bob, Nikki mentions believing the headlines. How big a factor is that to players?
It wouldn't be a factor for this Georgia team, as I believe, because they have a lot of veteran guys. They got the guys upperclassmen that are starters on that defensive front that basically haven't been to this level in the ranking and basically won't be competing like this for Georgia any longer after this season. So those guys, the defensive guys, Bellamy's and Carter's, those guys are the ones that keep, the calmness of that team and keep them winning.
But I think it's a good point, Bob, but I think a point that shouldn't be missed is the fact that winning makes your confidence level get higher.
Yep.
So it don't matter what truly the message is. The message is going to come. Whether you're winning or you're losing, Kirby's going to say, we got to take care of ourselves. Right. But really what happens when you start winning games, that's when players become believers. You can give me a message all day like Kirby, and if I ain't winning, it ain't going to matter. Winning is what cures the attitude.
Do the players believe in Jake Fromm?
I think they do.
Yeah.
I think, the offensive guys, they really play for him. And I think the problem with Jake Fromm is actually Jake Fromm. Jake Fromm wants to make some big plays. He got big-time running backs that can make big plays, so Jake Fromm wants to have a big play in the game. And early in the first quarters, he tries to force balls. And once he calms down and let the running game open up for him, that play action is beautiful.
Don't force the balls.
Don't force the balls.
We've been there before, Bob, Nikki, Jeff. Check this out. We've been there. And let me tell you what leaders really do. Let me tell you what Jake Fromm has really done. Leaders give the followers hope. He's come in and given them hope. So now when you think about what he's doing, they've won games, so they're not hoping anymore, they believing. So that's what leaders do. They give the followers hope. And what he's done is brought in a renegade, go-after mentality. He gave a Peyton Manning kind of personality. I'm working all day, I'm working every second. So I think Jake Fromm was really taking it to another level. He's been a lot different than what I'm hearing Easton is. And that's what the storyline, that's how it works right now in Athens.
Georgia's taking care of business. They beat your brains out and they go home.
And all right, so you're shaking your head
like
over
a gangster.
Complete agreement, right?
Like a gangster.
I love it. And they play hard and they win good.
All right, we'll be back in just a moment. We'll continue with Football's Play to Win. You stay with us.
All right, time to put the cookies out for Santa. I forgot to put them in there. Oh no. Idea. What about that? Yeah. What? Santa will love some This Is It. Promise you. Good for his tummy, right?
Ah. Ho, ho, ho. It's the Red Tips!
If you or a loved one has been seriously injured in an accident, don't drop the ball by letting the insurance company run all over you. I worked as an insurance lawyer for 10 years and I know their tactics and game plan. I'm Roger Orlando of the Orlando firm. Let our 30 years of experience tackle the insurance company for you. Our team will get you every dollar you deserve. So put the ball in our hands and we'll get your case across the goal line. Find us online at atlanta.law or call 678-LAW-FIRM.
As an athlete, you know winning doesn't come easy. When you get injured, it's no different. It's hard work coming back, but you accept the challenge. At GMC Sports Medicine, we've built one of the top programs in the nation with the most sports medicine fellowship-trained doctors and the largest team of certified athletic trainers in Georgia, managing 42,000 athletes. Getting you back to peak performance is our challenge, and it's game on.
Today's SEC College Report is being brought to you by the Southeast Nissan dealers. Choose Nissan.com.
Welcome back, and don't forget to go to the Play to Win website and enter the Ippolito's Pick'em contest. This season, be sure to visit our website, playingtowin.tv, and take a shot to be #1 against all the competition by picking this week's college and NFL winners against the spread. We'll be giving away Ippolito's $150 gift certificates to each week's first and second place winners. So make sure you come back every week and prove your football IQ by being the best at predicting this week's college and NFL games. Ippolito's, a great neighborhood Italian restaurant. All right, welcome back. Time for the SEC ACC report. Time to talk now about the LSU Ole Miss game, and I see LSU -7, Bob Whitfield.
Woo, it's two coaches.
Yeah.
Both of them trying to get a job here, and what you have is Ole Miss with Matt Luke, who was actually defensive assistant for Ed O.G. Orgeron at LSU when he was at Ole Miss. So Ed is going to try to school his old class chum and really take Ole Miss to school with LSU's Darius Geis. He's running hard. He really gained some first yards down late in that game to pull them by Auburn. And LSU's really picked it up after some early losses with Troy and all that. They're looking tough. That defense is tough. What Ed O.G. is doing is just that scrappy voice. He's getting those guys playing, and he's really charging that team so that they looked like they were out of a game against Auburn, and they came back with second half effort that really showed a strong.
It was a great effort
team.
last week, down 20-0 against Auburn, coming back to win that game. So
scrappy voice and an interesting hairline.
You know, I just want to make a point. When you think about Ed Orgeron, you got to think about he's from Louisiana. Yep. But here's the thing: I've never seen a coach go from being done to next week being, running for governor in Louisiana. You see what happened? Seriously, he knocks off Florida, knocks off Auburn. I mean, it's pretty incredible. But let me tell you about Ed Orgeron.
That hot seat cools off real fast.
The hot seat really cools off. But one thing that Ed Orgeron has done the last 2 weeks, he stopped meddling with the offensive coordinator. He's let the defensive coordinator run their scheme, because part of what Ed was trying to do, he was trying to control everything on both sides of the ball. Sometimes less is more when you're a head coach. Got to let the managers manage their own groups, and that's what he finally did.
Only certain head coaches can get away with that. Saban's an example, but most head coaches need to rely on the coordinators.
Well, Saban will bite you, burn your butt up, get after you, or give you some rap for it.
I'll ask you about UT Alabama, your alma mater UT.
Oh, that's easy.
Chance against Bama?
Yeah, let me tell you what the best thing about this game is.
One of the biggest rivalries in all of football.
UT, there is a path to winning this game. And it starts by not letting Alabama get off the bus. It starts by decoying them. Instead of going to Neyland Stadium, we're going to take them over there to the Strip. We're going to take them. Matter of fact, when they get to the airport, we're going to take them all the way to Mississippi and tell them this is where the game is being played. That's the only way Tennessee will win.
This looks like Memphis.
Tell them the game's in Birmingham. That's all.
Tell them it's in Birmingham. That's the only way I see Tennessee winning. Matter of fact, I'm just praying that no bags go on their head, because I've never seen bags on the heads of Tennessee Tennessee fans, but Lord have mercy, y'all. I'm praying. I'm just telling you, I'm praying for my boys, but it's gonna be a hard one. Maybe Tennessee holds the ball for like 45 minutes. How about that? How about the ultimate ball control? Hold the ball, and Alabama gets about 5 minutes with the ball.
All right. I get your game.
Look, Nikki can't even stand it. She can't handle it. But I'm just really like, Chuck, they got a new quarterback starting for Tennessee, Garantano. So you get a
You
young
just
guy.
love saying his name.
I love it. He's going to guarantee a victory against Alabama.
You know what? Let me tell you something. They could lose 65-0, and Jones will say, "Well, we look good doing this, look good doing that." He'd find a positive thing about it.
Look good in their uniforms.
Nothing wrong with being positive.
All right, be positive about Kentucky, Mississippi State. Kentucky plus 12?
Listen, we got to be really positive about Kentucky right now because they are chasing one of their best seasons that they've had in decades. They're just breathing on the top 25. So this game means so much to Kentucky, and I'm excited for them to see what they can do here because people haven't been excited or fired up for Kentucky football in a minute. This game.
They're a stupid penalty away from being undefeated.
Excited means what? 4th place? You got Florida, you got Georgia. Think about it.
Tennessee.
Hey, Tennessee.
You're not any stranger to picking up scraps.
We're going to be ahead of Kentucky. I tell you that right now. We're going to beat Kentucky. We may not beat nobody else, but we're going to beat Kentucky.
Give him a breath, man.
Today's Showdown of the Week is being brought to you by the Georgia Lottery, where every jackpot is a good jackpot.
All right, it's time for our college football Showdown of the Week, brought to you by the Georgia Lottery. This time it's 5-1 Michigan going against undefeated Penn State, and it's at Penn State and favored by a big number, 9.5 points.
That is a big number. And Saquon Barkley might be the second best running back in college football behind Bryce Love of Stanford. So I had to throw that in.
You had to throw it in.
Saquon has to face a tough Michigan defense that had a fourth down stoppage on the goal line to win a game last week, and that defensive front played tough. And to put the game on the defense, Chuck knows that the defense, when they make a big stop, how it leads them into the next week.
Right. But I think this is also a tough run for Penn State. Really, the second half of their schedules, I mean, it is scary when you think about what Penn State's trying to, really get to. But really, I'm going to tell you this, Rashawn Gary, he's going to be the number 1 pick in the 2019 NFL Draft. He's a defensive tackle. I mean, he has great pedigree, and he's like a wall when you're trying to run against him. I mean, he's hard to stop. I mean, so it's going to be interesting seeing Saquon Barkley going against a real stout Michigan defensive line.
Yeah, Penn State's season officially starts
That's
tonight.
right.
Yeah.
They can't. Michigan can't pass, not even a little bit.
Michigan struggles on offense. Yeah. If they get behind, Penn State's going to wind up.
How are you seeing it? Yeah.
I would give the 9.5 with Penn State. I just don't see Michigan scoring enough points to keep up with them. I don't think much of Mississippi. I'd give the 7 with LSU. I don't know where they came up with this number. Mississippi State 12 over Kentucky. Mississippi State shouldn't be 12 over anybody. Take the points with Kentucky.
All right, now we'll come back in just a moment. Talk about the Atlanta Falcons. They have a Super Bowl rematch with the New England Patriots.
The 2017 Nissan Rogue with available automatic emergency braking that could help stop for you. And motion-activated liftgate. You still got some tricks left in you. Take on today the Nissan Rogue family. Lease today, starting at just $159 per month, or save up to $10,760 on select models.
At Georgia Power, we do more than generate some of the lowest cost energy in the country. We attract businesses to our state, helping add over 134,000 new jobs in the last 10 years alone, opening doors for big productions and factories of every size, connecting international companies to a growing pool of talented Georgians, and showing communities a better future with more opportunities than ever before. Georgia Power, generating opportunity.
Do you suffer from irritability, boredom, and chronic cravings? Mellow Mushroom's craft pizza, beer, and cocktails are clinically proven to improve your mood and leave you with a full belly. Mellow Mushroom is fast-acting, giving you relief when you need it the most. Side effects of Mellow Mushroom may include salivation, euphoria, and an insatiable craving for more Mellow Mushroom. Ask your doctor about Mellow Mushroom. She may want to come with you.
Right here, Dad.
The
Infiniti QX60. Impressive performance and seating for 7. Lease the Infiniti QX60 for $399 a month or finance at 1.9% APR at your Atlanta area Infiniti retailer.
Today's Atlanta Falcons Report is brought to you by Ford F-150, the official truck of the NFL.
We always feel strongly about our run game. Why didn't we get them? I think the reason was we just didn't have enough opportunities to go, and I think it was a function of everyone, not extending drives offensively, and in the second half specifically of not getting off the field on some third downs to create more possessions. Lastly, we're at our very best when we create turnovers, and that also creates more drives for the offense. So to me, it's why we're good, or when we're at our best, it's everyone, who contributes to that.
All right, spoken like a true coach in true coach speak, Dan Quinn. This is the Falcons Report brought to you by Ford. Patriots, Super Bowl revenge, Nikki?
Would we call it a revenge at this point, Bob? No, I
Probably
think this
not.
is more, I think this is a great learning opportunity for the Atlanta Falcons, since clearly they have not figured out what is going wrong with them. So I think that this game versus the Patriots, not so much a revenge, but let's figure out what we're doing wrong. There's no better team to figure this out against than the Patriots.
It comes down to they need a win. They're 3-2.
Yep.
Lost 2 games they could have won 2 games they could have lost. They need a win.
Well, they need to hold on to the lead, Bob.
Well, yeah. When you start blowing those leads and start missing in the second half, what you see is a defense that gets run on in the second half, and then you see an offense that won't dedicate itself to the run, and that high-level, high-speed offense, the little viscosity in that engine is slowing them down. So what you need to do is find your true backbone, and if it's Devontae Freeman, run the rock with Devontae Freeman. You have leads for a reason. You got to get that defense that you're going against discouraged, and haven't been discouraged.
But Bob, I think the first thing you want to hear is locker room talk. I'm going to just take you in the locker room. What I'm hearing is some get back. I'm just telling you how it works. They can publicly say what they want to say. The quarterback that basically came back on you in the Super Bowl, basically embarrassed you, so to speak, the next year you absolutely want to smash Tom Brady. So in that locker room, they might not say it publicly, but heck yeah, they look at it like, this is a chance for us to get at. It's not like Brady. If there was a quarterback that wasn't in the game for New England, it'd be different.
Right.
It'd be different if it was Drew Bledsoe the next year. But this is the same guy that lit you up, and then I know the defensive linemen, that defense, they absolutely want to put their best foot forward, because that's basically the same New England team. Yeah. That's the same New England team for the most part. And guess who else is there? The same coach. You want to stuff it in his face, too, in front of a national audience?
Yeah.
I wish anybody would say it's not a revenge game. I'm going to tell you a line. Because in the locker room, I'm talking for the locker room. I'm not talking for the fans. Them players, they want to hunt. They want to get after them cats.
Belichick said they're not even allowed, his team isn't allowed to speak of the Super Bowl.
There you go. They need you in the locker room.
Man. And
or do they?
Yeah. Fly up there and get on that team.
I would. And they trying to bully the Falcons.
Get on that defense.
You think they sitting back saying, the reason why Belichick told them to say nothing, because he know. They like, y'all thought it was, from their side, they said there was an unbelievable comeback. Them cats are like, before that, we was already smashing teams. So New England wants to come out and embarrass the Falcons too, again in front of a national audience, so they can always have a psychological advantage over the Falcons if they do meet them again in the Super Bowl.
All right, let's see what Chris Domino with 680 The Fan, what his opinion is about it.
Bob, not you. You've got to ask me that same question, because it's being asked of everybody. Even people who don't live in Atlanta, people who probably don't know much about the Falcons are having to be asked, what do you do about losing leads? Oh, wait, what about that Super Bowl thing? It still stings, but the problem is it's a real question. This actually started before the Super Bowl. There was a problem before that game ever took place. They had blown some leads last year before they made the run to the Super Bowl. So now you have, with the Miami game, a 17-point lead that goes away. You lose to a team at home that everybody thought you were supposed to beat. And now the New England Patriots are next. So it all tied into a real ugly bow. Everybody's got to ask the question that now is, what's wrong with the Atlanta Falcons late in football games? There might be 5 different answers. Are you in condition? Are you taking your foot off the gas pedal? There are a whole bunch of theories. The problem is we have to talk about it again, because we're living in the middle of, could this be the thing that does in the Falcons a year after they go to the Super Bowl? I don't like it. I knew it was going to come. I just was expecting a little bit more from you, Bob. Now I know it is truly the national question.
You got mad you asked him that question, Bob.
Exactly, apparently. What is it about taking the foot off the gas? I mean, they don't take their foot off the gas.
Maybe they need to fall behind.
Well, come back,
Come back.
But that's what I saw last week. Even though they let that team come back, they still had a chance to win with 2 minutes left in the game. And you driving down a long drive with 2 minutes left in the game, and you don't run the ball. You needed a field goal to tie, a touchdown to win, and you don't even run the ball consistently in that. And you had 2 timeouts left on the board.
Yeah, loss of confidence in the offensive line if you don't run the ball.
Right, and Bob, I'm gonna take you back. You know, you're our senior member here on the set, right? Let me take you back to General Neyland, Tennessee coach. I'm gonna reference a college coach.
Yep.
The team that makes the fewest mistakes will win. That's part of the 10-game maxims that Tennessee says before every game.
Right.
The Falcons are making mistakes. So when they turn the ball over and the other team doesn't, the team that makes the fewest mistakes is going to win. So all these teams have been making fewer mistakes. Think about Grady Jarrett's hit. Think about Alford's pass interference penalty.
Right.
Think about all the mistakes that they made in this game. So and it just stands out. General Neyland said the team that makes the fewest mistakes will win. It stands up, 70, 80 years now? It's the same way in all levels of football.
That's why they named the stadium after it.
Yeah, don't forget this, Chuck. The offensive line, their best player is the center. And when your best player on the offensive line is the center, you're going to have trouble on those edges.
It's a great point.
Giving up sacks.
Great point.
Well said by a guy who was an offensive lineman. Jeffrey, how do you see it?
I'm not buying New England's defense. I think Atlanta's going to score on them. Take the 3.5 with the Falcons. I think they win the game.
All right, Falcons plus 3.5. You heard Jeffrey's picks. We'll be back in just a moment. You stay with us. This is Play to Win.
We are the blood, sweat, and tears of fierce ambition. We are fueled by the impossible, an inner drive that can't be contained. We are the Georgia Bulldogs. So shout, go Dogs, and let the game begin. Here's to building champions. Now get $10,800 in total savings on the 2017 F-150. See your local Ford dealer today.
We've owned a few different houses through the years. Your company was absolutely the best. They were so professional. Everything they did, they didn't get a mark on a wall or anything else. It was clean, it was friendly, and it was fun. And most of the time, moving is not fun. I'm going to give a great recommendation to Atlanta Peach Movers. It's always on time and it's always professional. There is no tree in Atlanta Peach Movers.
To schedule your move, call Atlanta Peach Movers today.
Who do you trust to change your oil? I'm consumer investigator Dale Cardwell. This is really my car, and Haviland Express Lube is who I truly trust. They're professional, priced to beat the competition, and really, really fast.
Hey football fans, don't take chances by driving with worn-out wiper blades. Pull into Haviland Express Loop Monday through Thursday, mention football's play to win, and get a free pair of wiper blades with the purchase of an oil change.
To see our real research and find the location nearest you, visit trustdale.com/Haviland.
We are the TV doctors of America, and we may not know much about medicine, but we know a lot about drama.
From scandalous romance
to ridiculous plot twists.
Son?
Dad. We also know you can avoid drama by getting an annual checkup.
So we're partnering with Cigna to remind you to go see a real doctor.
Go, know, and take control of your health. It could save your life. Doctor poses. Dad.
Cigna, together, all the way.
Today's player injury and medical report is being brought to you by the Orlando Law Firm. Put a former insurance lawyer in your corner.
Time to go inside injuries. Dr. Lalaji not with us today, but Dr. Elamine is, and we're going to talk about this right here, the shoulder.
That's right. Thank you for having me here today, Bob. As you know, in the NFL, up till about week 6, we've had some serious shoulder injuries. Several. And as you know, recently Aaron Rodgers sustained a clavicle fracture. Now, what is a clavicle fracture? A clavicle fracture is what they call the collarbone, also the clavicle. So he actually broke this bone here. Whereas Jameis Winston sustained what they call a shoulder separation. The difference is he's disrupted this ligament and possibly this ligament.
Gotcha.
You understand the difference? Also, we know Cam Newton had a shoulder injury where he tore his rotator cuff. The rotator cuff is the tendon that actually allows you to raise the arm, and that's here. So he had that repaired. Whereas Andrew Luck sustained what they call a labral tear. Now, the labrum is inside the shoulder here, along this, which prevents the shoulder from dislocating.
That looks painful.
That does look very painful, and that's probably why he's not back yet.
Exactly.
But that's exactly the difference that what we're seeing here with these individuals. Some very serious injuries. As we know, Aaron Rodgers is definitely a season-ending injury.
Yeah, I was going to say that's the longest-lasting injury.
Absolutely,
because
absolutely.
obviously of the healing nature to that.
And not only that, it's also going to require a plate and screw to fix. So he's going to need some time to heal and to get back.
All right, that's great. I appreciate your being here.
Oh, thank you for being here.
Yeah, you never. It's just like Lou Gehrig. You never miss a game. This guy can come back in and replace you. We'll be back with more with Play to Win. Stay with us.
In football, as in the legal system, it helps to know your opponent. I'm Roger Orlando, and I used to work for the insurance companies. I've seen their playbook, and I know their game plan. If you've been hurt in an auto accident, call me at 678 Law Firm.
The 2017 Nissan Rogue, with available automatic emergency braking that could help stop for you. And motion-activated liftgate. You still got some tricks left in you. Take on today the Nissan Rogue family. Lease today, starting at just $159 per month, or save up to $10,760 on select models.
At Longhorn, step into wood, stone, steak. Don't prepare a meal for yourself. Prepare yourself for a meal. Feast on one of Longhorn's steakhouse cuts, 12-ounce New York strip, center-cut Flo's filet, for a limited time, 14-ounce Delmonico. The feeling, the flavor, the place. Longhorn Steakhouse. You can't fake steak.
If you've been seriously injured in an accident, don't get blindsided by the insurance company. I'm Roger Orlando, and I built a winning team to run interference against the insurance companies and get your case across the goal line. Call me at 678 Law Firm.
You never know when the moment will strike, and when it does, you want to be ready. Mellow Mushroom's craft pizza, beer, and cocktails can help you enjoy a more satisfying eating experience. Mellow Mushroom is safe for daily use. If you find yourself sitting in a Mellow Mushroom for more than 4 hours, you may want to go home and come back another day. Mellow Mushroom is not for everyone. Just kidding, it is. Ask your doctor about Mellow Mushroom. He may want to come with you.
Today's lightning round is brought to you by Longhorn Steakhouse, now featuring great American steak dinner. Longhorn Steakhouse, you can't fake steak.
All right, we have time for Jeffrey's picks.
Love Navy at home. When you get points against a high-scoring team, they'll take the ball, run it down their throat. Take Navy with the 7 against Central Florida. I like Texas at home against Oak State. Oak State struggles on the road. Take 7 with Texas. I got a question here. Cal's at home. Will they let the Arizona fans come to the stadium and root against Cal? Take the 3 with Cal at home. I like Pittsburgh 5 over Cincinnati. Cincinnati's going nowhere. Pittsburgh's coming around. Denver's not that good. Earth to John Elway. You've got a quarterback problem. Give 1 with the Chargers. And Philly might be the best team in football. I like them over a competitive Washington 4.5.
All right, Jeffrey's picks, play him and win. That's what I always say.
Earth to John Elway. I like that. They do got a little trouble out there with Trevor Siemian.
John Elway.
They got a quarterback problem, definitely.
Jeffrey's picks, that's why we call it play to win. Thanks for joining us.
Today's show has been brought to you by Ford, Mellow Mushroom, and Georgia Lottery.